You know that feeling, right? When you're just stuck, completely surrounded by this fog of confusion, and you have no idea which way to turn. It's so frustrating, and honestly, it can feel like you've failed somehow. But what if it wasn't a failure at all? What if getting lost was actually the very first step toward finding a much better path? Okay, let's get into it.
I mean, this is the question, isn't it? It's right at the heart of our biggest career decisions, our life changes, even just the small stuff. And when you're standing at a crossroads and every single option looks blurry, that feeling of not knowing what to do, man, it can be absolutely paralyzing.
So before we could even think about finding a way out, we got to understand the fog itself. What is this state of confusion really? And why does it feel so overwhelming? Let's take a closer look at the different reasons we get stuck.
Okay, first up is this weird paradox. You'd think that having tons of options would be amazing, but it can be the complete opposite. It's like you're facing this giant wall of doors, a new job, a new city, a new hobby, and the pressure to pick the perfect one is so huge that you just freeze. You end up choosing none of them.
And then there's the other side of the coin, that sinking feeling when you look at all your available paths and none of them feel right. Here, you're not overwhelmed by good options, you just feel trapped by a bunch of bad ones.
It really is like your wheels are just spinning in the mud. You can feel your brain revving. You're trying so hard to move forward, but you're just stuck. You're not going backward, sure, but you're burning a ridiculous amount of energy going absolutely nowhere.
You know, this state actually has a name. It's called analysis paralysis. It's the official term for getting so lost in overthinking that you never actually get around to making a decision. And honestly, just being able to put a name to it, to see it for what it is, that can be the first step in taking away its power over you.
Okay, now we're going to make a really important shift in how we think about this. What if we reframed what confusion means completely? Because here's the key idea. It is not a sign that you've failed. It's a signal.
So think of your understanding of the world like a mental map. Confusion is just your internal GPS saying, recalculating. The map you've been using to get around, it just doesn't fit the territory you're in anymore. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's an alert system telling you it's time for an update.
So that feeling of being totally lost, it's not a dead end. It's actually a helpful signpost pointing you toward a new, unexplored direction. It's not telling you to stop, it's inviting you to get curious.
All right, so if confusion is a signpost, how do we learn to actually read it? To find that new path, you need the right tools. So let's put together a practical 3-step toolkit for building your own internal compass.
Here it is. It's a simple but really powerful 3-step process. First, you get your thoughts out of your head, you externalize them, so they stop echoing around in there. Second, you check in with your core values. That's how you find your true north. And third, and this is probably the most important step, you run small experiments. Why? Because clarity comes from action, not just from thinking. And this really highlights a huge shift. See, the old way is totally passive. It's just waiting around for some lightning bolt of inspiration that, let's be real, might never come. But the new way? It's active. It's empowering. You don't wait for clarity. You go out and you create it through a deliberate process. And that's how you build real momentum instead of just staying stuck.
So this brings us to the engine of this entire toolkit. You can think and journal and plan until you're blue in the face, but real, tangible clarity, it only comes from one thing: action. It is all about the incredible power of taking that very first step.
Just one. That's it. One small, totally manageable action. You're not trying to solve your entire life's purpose in one afternoon. We're talking about one phone call, one online tutorial, one conversation. The goal isn't to solve the whole puzzle at once, it's just to find the very next piece.
And why is this so incredibly effective? Because action gives you data. When you actually do something, you get real-world feedback on what works, what you like, and what you definitely don't. It builds your confidence and makes that scary unknown a little bit smaller, and most importantly, it can reveal totally new paths you never, ever could have seen from where you were standing before.
All right, let's bring all this home with one last crucial idea. This is about changing our entire relationship with the future, about shifting our focus away from some fixed destination and toward a flexible, adaptable direction instead.
You know, we put so much pressure on ourselves to have it all figured out, to have this perfect 5-year plan. But life is messy. It's unpredictable.
This idea that there is one single correct destination out there for us is a complete myth, and it's a myth that more often than not just keeps us stuck right where we are.
So what this means is the real goal isn't finding the one right answer. It's about building the skill of navigating uncertainty. It's about becoming a better, more confident navigator and trusting that you have the internal compass to handle whatever comes next, especially the next time you find yourself back in that fog.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if confusion isn't a problem we need to solve, but an invitation? An invitation to become a more curious, more resilient, and more capable explorer of your own life. What would change for you if you started to see it that way?